Dr. Dugan, welcome. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Hey, g'day, Ben. G'day, team. Looking forward to today. I love what you guys do, so super happy to come in and help as much as I possibly can.
Well, mate, I'm keen to get your insights. I know you see inside a lot of businesses and business owners, so I thought a good place to start was just around what are some of the biggest mistake or mistakes that you see people make when running and starting businesses?
Great. Well, for context, we've worked with over 2,000 businesses for well over a decade, and we work with small to medium-sized businesses all around the world. So what I'm going to share now is the experience of really looking under the hood. We also get a profit and loss and balance sheet from all our members, so we get to really see what happens. And so I think that's part of it is the clue. What I see some of the mistakes is that if you were to travel to, say, Papua New Guinea and go in the highlands, you would need to speak the local language to be able to communicate with the locals there. Same if you went to some other countries, you have to talk the language. Now, the language of business is numbers, and most entrepreneurs that we've met don't put enough time into understanding the language of the business. So I'd say, and then the thing, out of all things in business, it's actually the easiest of all things that you can do in the business. There's just a handful of things that you need to know, and when you know them, it gives you a huge amount of confidence in your business. So I'd say first thing is just get your financial literacy up to speed, and it's relatively simple. Once you've got that, you can then look at the optics, the numbers that come from it. And as long as you set a consistent rhythm to review those and just ask good quality questions, then you'll stay ahead of the game. So I'd say if I had to simplify it, they're the most important things that I see people do or should do, whereas a lot of times people go, I don't like numbers, so they bury their head in the sand, but they do love the numbers in their bank account going up. So I'd say if you want that number to go up, then just spend a little bit of time. It doesn't require much. And it gives you a huge, huge reward.
Yeah, well, I can definitely vouch for that, and also the fact that it is its own language. And I started the business, my business, having worked in financial planning for, studying and working in there for like a decade before I kicked off the business, and I knew a lot about financial strategies and personal finances. But learning over the time since starting the business. It's its own thing. It's a different set of sort of considerations and things to be aware of. There's a difference between your profit and your cash flow, and you got to look at the margins and what drives things as well. So yeah. I think I've found that it's a journey that evolves over time, and we're constantly adding things or measurables and elements into our process. But that's what gives you the data to make your business decisions and doing that. And I don't want to take away from business, which is extremely challenging on a whole bunch of levels. But when you are clear on those, I know for us, it's found where you say, okay, I can allocate more resources here, less resources here. There's a problem there to address as well. So I think it certainly gives you the tools that you need to make better data-led decisions, which is clearly key.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think you sort of highlighted something again. I think it's really important to take on board, Ben, and that is understanding. Like we've worked with thousands of businesses now, and there's not been one business ever, including the accountants and financial advisors, law firms, all the people that you may expect that would have this. We have not found one business that actually had, I would say, at least 80% of their numbers in the right order, because you get trained to do your skill, financial advisory, legal, accounting. But that's, as you said, that's a very different thinking to the language of the way to think around it with business and business numbers. They are different. And I think that's really important. If I had to give a tip out, whether you're a employee working in a company, whether you're in a leadership role working in a company, whether you want to start a business or whether you already own your business, it actually doesn't matter. What does matter is understanding that there are different elements of your life. And let's say as a profession, let's say you're working as an employee or you own your own business, that business should be a vehicle. Even if you're an employee, you're still running a business. You just got one client. Employing you, yeah. So there's an outcome that you do some form of activity. You build it. If you're a business owner, then you build an asset, and just like you buy investment property or blue chip shares. You put some money, time, energy in, and you expect a return. What we see happen is a lot of people are working in a job or building a business, and they're forgetting that for the effort that they put in, they need to get a return back. So that's one bucket of knowing what's the return that you need. A lot of people are just going, well, this is what it's giving me. That's all I can take. It's actually no. It's actually being intentional. I'll say it again, being intentional around what you want to get out of it. And we talk about three things: money, time, and impact. Let's talk about the money side. How much does it need to give you? That's one bucket. And there's some thinking around that. If you're an employee, you'd be looking at your bonuses and you're looking at how you could get another pay rise, what you can do to add more value. If you're a business owner, what bucket can you put in there to look at, or what can you do to improve the business? Now, that's one area to focus on. Once you've got that, or as you get that solid, you then go, okay, well, now I need to talk about me as a person. And I would say you want to run your person just like a business. There's money coming in, money going out, and what's left over is what is your personal profit. So setting up your business structure well and knowing that we call it the drips or the buckets on how the business be spitting out money to you, and then doing the same thing in a personal context is and it's relatively simple, but not always easy to do that from a personal perspective. And I think the third bucket is your fun bucket, or the fun area, is that these are all the lifestyle things and all the cool things that you want to build. If you understand that there are these three areas and you want to make sure that they all work together, then life is very solid. And as long as you've got the patience to consistently follow through, you'll create what we call about intergenerational wealth. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm keen to get into those buckets in